We are back. Finishing up the very tail end of Endwalker. I had to stop my last stream because it was getting too close to 12 hours for my comfort. I wasn't sure how long it was going to take to read all these text dialogues. So, I did already talk to Alize and Urianger in the last one. Now I'm continuing. Start with Cryle. Oh, Shinobu, how are you feeling? Any lingering aches or pains? I can't apologize enough for sending Xenos to find you in Ultima Thule. When he came to me in Charlian, I was truly torn. As ever, there was only one thing on his mind. Forced to make a decision, I reasoned that if he would not be deterred from seeking you out, he might at least aid us in our cause, and so I struck a bargain. In the end, he was true to his word, and you defeated him despite your earlier exertions. But knowing the state you were found in, it could have ended very differently. My decision almost cost you your life, and no words could express the remorse I feel. It worked out fine, you did the wrong thing. It's a relief to hear you say that. Thank you. Time and time again, I've been made to feel woefully inadequate. I wasn't much use in battle, nor could I face the Forum without my nerves getting the better of me. It always fell to you and the others. I must and will do better, and I shall begin the restoration of the students of Baldessian. Through our work, Charlian will strengthen its ties with other nations, that we may be better prepared to face whatever threats arise in future. Of course, this isn't something I can accomplish alone, but thankfully I have the staunchest of help in Raha and Ojika, and our other remaining members. Together, we'll continue Grandfather's work. As before, certain commissions will take us to dangerous locales, and we may need to call upon seasoned adventurers. In such times, might you be willing to assist us? Not because you feel obliged, mind you, but because you feel allured for the task itself. Marvelous. Should something of interest arise, I shan't hesitate to reach out to you. Until that day, I shall endeavor to become a more dependable comrade. Oh, Shinobu, pray forgive me for delaying the gathering. I was writing a letter, you see, to my parents. As busy as Father has been, tending the aftermath of the Exodus, he has been good enough to show concern for the Scions, and besides, I've made them worry enough for a lifetime. Henceforth, I will endeavor to write as often as I am able. A little effort to set their minds at ease while we continue to be away from Charlian. Both Alize and I are off to assist Garlemald's recovery, you see. Though uncertainty remains over what will become of the nation, we cannot well leave the capital in its present state. We will rejoin those members of the Ilsabard contingent still stationed here. Lucia and Maxima helm the relief effort, with support from our allies, the people of Garlemald, among them. They will gradually be joined by those who have finished treating the tempered across the land. Lest you misunderstand, we do not seek redemption for failing Isina and her sister. That burden we must always bear. Nay, we go because of the truth in Lord Quintus's words. The truth that whatever ideals individuals may espouse, nations are not moved to action unless they stand to benefit. For the foreseeable future, the fallen empire will be at the mercy of both internal and external forces. And though I do not doubt the intentions of the contingent, the greater powers involved in the relief effort, our allies may well find themselves drawn into a political agenda. In going, we seek to ensure that the needs of the people come first, to understand their hearts, that we might better help them to begin anew. You'd best write me too. Write you letters? Of course, I would be glad to do so. But I would be gladder still if you came to visit. And I believe I speak for Alizé as well. For fairly as long as I've been in Eorzea, you've been at my side, watching over me in good times and in bad. How many times have we gathered to share tidings? None could possibly keep count. The world is changing, and will continue to do so. Yet, no matter what the future brings, I hope that I can ever look to you, in good times and in bad, as a dependable comrade and dear friend both. Thank you, Shinobu, from the bottom of my heart. Ah, our champion and savior. I was beginning to think my chance for an audience would never come. That sounded more amusing in my head. Speaking of heads, I was worried about yours, and the rest of you, for that matter. On the mend, I trust. Glad to hear it. You were in a bad way, and healing magics or no, I'm impressed by how swiftly you've recovered. Then again, 'tis hardly the first time you've cheated death. Your strength of will has never failed to astonish me. Look at what you've accomplished. Median defeated, her song of oblivion cut short, the source and all her reflections delivered from the final days. If you had faltered at the last, then all hope would have been lost. But you held fast. Now Rain has a tomorrow to look forward to, and I could ask for no greater gift than that. As for a lesser gift, however, the next time you see her, I would appreciate you not describing my travel plans with Urianger to aimlessly wandering. We've a purpose in our roaming, after all. Keeping an eye on things in the absence of the scions would on the world stage. There'll never be an end to the little problems that go untended by nations. We will do our best to help out where we can, which I suppose is an approach not far removed from aimless wandering when you get down to it. Perhaps you could tell her I'm faring well and leave it at that, eh? No need to mention this feeling of being uprooted. I've never been one to stand still for long, But when I think of home, 'tis the rising stones which comes to mind. How many times have we set out from this base, thence to return when our work was done? On the day the Scions came together, I only hoped for Minfilia to find a place where she belonged, but never did I expect to find one here for myself. Indulge me, Shinobu. I have a question for you. And imagine Minfilia herself is asking, are you glad you joined the Scions? Best decision I ever made. I can honestly say the same. But all good things must come to an end, at least for a time. Should you need a helping hand for infiltration or reconnaissance, you know who to ask. I'll come running, and you'll likely get a certain fun-talking fortune teller into the bargain. If you have something to say, then out with it. Just worried how you'll earn your keep now. Just wondering how you'll earn my keep now. You talk as if the Scion's disillusion was more than mere pretense. There may be fewer calls to action, but we should be compensated as before. Why are you so concerned for me anyway? In any case, I do not want for options, even if some are worse than others. No sooner did Almeric hear about our disbandment that he offered me a position as a guardsman in the Imperium district. As a former Azure Dragoon, I'm guaranteed to be popular, he said. Who does he take me for? Even without his meddling, I'm perfectly capable of finding employment, and have. Some days ago, a Hainish envoy arrived with word from Vertra. The worm requested my presence as soon as things have settled here. He didn't deign to mention why I'm needed, but it pertains to dragons like as not. In Thavnir, like elsewhere, the phenomena caused by the final days abated when you defeated Medion. Though it was too late for those who had already transformed, life is beginning to return to normal for the survivors. Of those who sought refuge in Sharlayan, most have already returned home. But many do not have a home to return to, nor loved ones. By an arrangement between Vertra and the Forum, such souls may remain in Sharlayan if they wish, to study and work. Vertra was always the satrap in truth. It's gratifying to see him become one in name as well. One who has the complete confidence of his people, if the envoy's tone was any indication. I often find myself speaking favorably of dragons of late. Not so long ago, I would have assumed his benevolence hid ulterior motives, but 'tis clear he cares for his people, and they in turn revere him. To know such a nation may flourish is comforting. Vertra's kin sought release from conflict. So weary were they of the suffering it brought. they surrendered to oblivion. But Midgardsormr didn't give up. In hopes, he made the journey to distant Aetheris with his clutch of eggs. And though his progeny went on to be embroiled in conflict with men, there were times when they transcended hate to abide in harmony. That is their legacy and their triumph. In my lance, I feel the weight of their struggle and the strength of their resolve, and it lends me strength. These things I might never have learned had I not joined you. Should you ever have need of me, I will come. At the very least, it might be an opportunity to earn coin. Oh, are we saying our farewells too? I hadn't at present planned on a journey of any great length. Not that I'm averse to a moment or two of quiet reminiscence. In fact, there was something I'd been meaning to ask you, something that had been in my thoughts since the last flames of the final days subsided. During our travels, we have witnessed more than a lifetime's worth of oddities and spectacles, more than can be easily recalled or remembered. And nestled among those memories are certain essential facts: the history of Aetheris and the ancients, glimpses of the Ea, of their culture and philosophy. Rather than simply hoard such treasures in my mind, I wonder if I should not be dismantling, disseminating. I wonder if I should not be disseminating them in formal records for wider consumption. When needed, I have penned reports and prepared briefings, but ever have I balked at the idea of binding the subject of my studies in a book or tablet. Truth is given shape and interpretation. When we seek to capture it with our words, it is invariably molded to fit a narrative, no matter how well-intentioned the rendering. An event is described as sad, a summation which fails to express the emotional complexity. Yet, the word on the page is what endures, a pale shadow of reality. Throughout history, some have deliberately embellished the truth. But I believe many, if not most, deviations are the result of similar linguistic shortcomings, piling one upon the other until the end result is unrecognizable from its origin. Which is why I fear that writing an account of my own words would be akin to diluting fine wine with water. Yet even with the potential for corrupted meaning, I do of course realize the importance of keeping written records. Without them, my search for wisdom would be a painful affair indeed. But what say you on this matter? Should I take up the quill, reflect upon those experiences only we have shared, and seek to preserve them for posterity? Aye, let them be read and remembered. Very well then. I shall endeavor to pen what I can from the Ea, and the ancients, and of so many other wonders. But I am no scribe. It will be less a polished work and more a recording of scattered notes. In any case, I feel much better for having sought your opinion. Left to our own devices, we tend to overthink such things. I will otherwise return to following where my curiosity leads. After all, a safe method of travel to the first yet eludes me, and our venture into the great expanse has prompted an entirely new set of questions. Should you stumble into the unknown, or struggle with some impenetrable mystery, know that I am at your beck and call. It never hurts to see things from a different perspective, and mine is rather different than most. Oh, Shinobu. Might you have a moment to talk? With the Scions stepping away from the public eye, I've been left to consider what new endeavors I might pursue. After speaking with Kryl, I've decided I will be assisting her in rebuilding the students of Baldessian. Not only am I indebted to Master Golef for giving me a new home, but had our order never existed, I would never have set foot within the Crystal Tower. How different my life might have been. I would never have met you, never become caretaker of the tower, never become a Scion. You gave me the chance to do so much good, and I hope to continue to do so with the students. For an added benefit, new mysteries often find their way to our doorsteps. Mysteries that could prove ideal for fulfilling our promise, to embark on a new adventure together, unlike any we've experienced before. Whenever you have the time and inclination, my friend, I stand ready to accompany you onto the unknown. Do you recall the realm of the Omicrons? When I asked if you thought I may someday be mentioned in your epic. While 'tis true that to earn a place at your side would be the stuff of dreams, in the end, nothing would give me greater joy than to stand with you in the here and now. I needn't some grand endeavor. There needn't be a promise. Whenever adventure calls, I won't hesitate to invite you, and I hope you will do the same for me. Without a second thought. Ha! I'll hold you to that. As much as we've already seen, there's still so much we haven't. Who knows? Perhaps we will even encounter survivors of the Omicrons somewhere out there. After all, given how they took to the stars, it isn't implausible that some found themselves far from home. And should we encounter a wayward traveler awaiting commands that will never come, I would bid them seek adventure with someone, and with a partner find new purpose, a new dream. For if crystals can hold fast to dreams, why not Omicrons? Wherever your plans may lead, do not hesitate to send word, and should a commission of interest come my way, you will be the first to know. spoken your fill, have you? If so, I'm thinking to send everyone off. With your permission, then. Your attention, please. At risk of spoiling the mood, the time of departure is upon us. In my capacity as your receptionist, I bid you all safe journeys. Till next we meet. Be well.
I suppose we're off to Garlemald then. Though we ought to speak with Lord Emmerich first. If he's received word of any recent developments, we need to know.
'Twould be prudent to purchase some warmer clothes at least. Mayhap we can pick up a few souvenirs for Euless and the others while we're at it.
Where will you all be heading next?
Dravania. There is a book I've been meaning to borrow from the Great Google Library. And I can think of at least one person who will be most displeased should I fail to visit before leaving.
We've no particular destination in mind, but we do intend to stop in Sharlayan before we set off.
We had thought to ask after the Loporrits. I am curious as to how well those who chose to remain are adapting to their changed circumstances.
Might we accompany you then? Raha and I were planning to return to the Baldessian Annex.
Commissions have been piling up in our absence, and they must be dealt with ere we begin our work in earnest.
Estinian, you will return to Radzat Han, will you not?
Aye. For Vritra's benefit, though I've yet to hear the details. I may not stay long.
I see. Then it is here the Scions at last part ways. Each to some far-flung corner of the realm.
Perhaps. But I believe one of our number, a rather important one at that, has yet to divulge her plans.
Quite right.
Indeed.
Fair point.
So, what's next for our humble adventurer?
The constancy of this place never ceases to amaze me. An ocean of souls, shimmering and eternal. And yet, something stirs. Yes. Steeped in darkness, deep as starless night. The beast, hungers. Alas, I dare not investigate in earnest before the coming of my guiding star, as she foretold. We shall descend to the depths, you and I, to confront the dread beast Pandemonium. Oh, the sights we shall see. The sights we shall see.
You've completed the main scenario quest Endwalker. Quests to unlock new content have now become available in Old Sharlayan. Additionally, you may now enter the Dead Ends with a party of NPC avatars. To make use of this feature, use the Trust interface located on the under Duty in the main menu. Rest well, Champion of Aetheris. For many and more adventures await you. Well, that's the end of the story. And yep, that would have put me over 12 hours, so good thing I stopped it. This will be a short video, though. Anyways, it has been a great adventure. Thank you all for watching. And if you enjoyed, please leave a like. And until next time, take care.